Hello guys, welcome to our session 19, and for today's class we're going to need our Amaze book, our homework notebook, okay? Those two things. Please go and get them. Let's open our Amaze at page 40. At page 40 we have our vocabulary presentation of the unit. The title is Country. Sometimes you may think that country means a country like Mexico or like China or like Argentina, Japan, France. All of that is correct. But also country or countryside means the opposite of city. So this is exactly the meaning that we're looking at here. The country is the opposite of city. Here we have some codes and we have illustrations at pages 40 and 41. I want you to find the code and write the words over here. Yes? And when you finish, we are going to check. Please pause the video and do it. Okay, so our answers after decoding should be the following. Here we have some vocabulary of the country or the countryside. Pay attention to this one. This is a little house in the country. The pronunciation of this word is cottage. I'm going to zoom it in so you may see it even larger. Okay, so again, this one, cottage. Again, listen carefully. Cottage. Okay. This little thing that it's not a house is just where they keep their tools. Look at it. I'm going to zoom even more. Here we have the tools. Yes. So, that is a shed. Again, shed. That pronunciation is sort of easy, right? Now let's continue with the other words. A small place with lots of houses and businesses, but small. It's a village. Again, listen. Village. Can you pay attention to these? These and these. They have the same pronunciation. Itch. Cottage. Village. Can you listen again? Cottage. Village. Okay. Now, the place where they put all of the food of the animals, that one is the barn. Again, barn. I'll say it once more. Barn. Okay? Now, this word we have already seen it in our unit of the student's book. Do you remember? So let's say it just once more, but you already know that. Farmer. Again, farmer. This little thing here, it's a scarecrow. Again, scarecrow. This cereal that it's used for making bread is wheat. Again, it's the cereal, yes? And it's called wheat. Wheat. Now we have this, which is the soil, like the place where you can plant. And it's this word. It's the field. Again, field. Now, this one is where the pigs live. It's the pen. Pen. So you may tell me, teacher, how are we going to know when we're talking about a pen for writing and a pen for pigs? Well, by reading this context, but also some of them call this a pig pen, yes? Just to make a difference. Okay? Now, using some of the words, you're going to complete these ones. Later on in our Zoom class, you're going to spell it out, okay? So be ready. Now let's check the second group of words that we're going to check in our Zoom class today. So these are our answers. This place where the horses live, it's called stable. Stable. It's very similar to Spanish, right? A group of birds and also a group of sheep is a flock. A flock. It's flock. Flock. It's a group of birds. Now, lots of trees planted, but not just trees. Trees which give fruits. Only trees which give fruits. That place, it's called an orchard. Again, orchard. We don't pronounce the R's, okay? It's orchard. Orchard. Again, orchard. And this one, well, that's easy because in Spanish we call it the same. It's a tractor. Again, tractor. And these things are crops. What are crops? All the things that people planted in the fields, but now when they're cut, it's a crop. Okay? Now let's check this exercise. This exercise says, where do they belong? So we're going to match the things and where they belong. Let me get one colored here. So we have the farmer. The farmer, I guess, belongs to the farm, right? Then we have a hat. That hat, I guess, is of a scarecrow. A bird is a part of the flock. The tree with fruits belongs to the orchard. Now let's see. The pig. The pig belongs to the pen. Now we have wheat. Wheat belongs to the field. Now we have a horse. Horses are supposed to be in the stable, right? And where will you put the tools? This tool is called a rake. Where does the rake belong? Well, rakes are supposed to be in the shed. Well, I didn't like my line, so let's make it more beautiful. Yes, I like that one better. To the shed. In case you have any mistakes, please correct. Now, moving on to the next exercise. Let's pay attention to this exercise. It says circle the country words. Again, country is the opposite of city. So we have to circle the words that belong to the farm. Okay? So let's begin looking at these. Here it says stable. Should we circle it? I guess we should, because a stable is where the horses are. So let's circle a stable. Well, I don't like my circle. Let me fetch another one. This one, yes, I like it better. A stable. Well, it's too thick, sorry. So maybe thinner. Stable, yes, I like it more. A sidewalk. Is a sidewalk part of the country? Not really. A sidewalk is where you can walk in the city, so no. Now we have flock. Flock. Flock's a group of birds, so yes. Whale. A whale lives in the ocean, so it's a no. An orchard. Yes, an orchard is a huge space with planted fruit trees. Skyscraper. No, not part of the city. A barn. Yes, definitely. A barn. A building. Well, there are buildings in the countryside, but not as tall as in the city, so I'm going to say no. Traffic. Definitely not a part of the country. A pen. Yes, it's where pigs live. We have a bank. Not an essential part, but a farmer is an essential part. Then we have on the other con crop. Yes, crops belong to the country. A street, not necessarily. Wheat, yes, wheat is a famous crop, right? And wheat grows in fields, so we should also write field. A shed, yes, for keeping our tools. The ocean, no, the ocean is part of the ocean, not of the country. An avenue, no, not even in villages there are big avenues. A seagull, well, it has the name sea, it lives in the sea. And a cottage, yes, a cottage is part of the country. So please correct the mistakes in case you have some mistakes. Now let's move on. Oh, I erased everything, sorry. So let's move on now. Let's go to the next exercise. In the next exercise, you have to underline. What do you have to underline? The correct words. Which are the words that you have to choose between stable or cottage, pen or orchard, scarecrow or cottage, flocks or crops, wheat or field, tractor or pen. These are the ones that you have to choose between them. Please do it, and we're going to check later in our conversation via Zoom, okay? Before continuing, let's make a quick review just because it was a bit ago when we last saw this, but remember that this unit we are practicing with first conditional. First conditional was used for probable consequences. We have a cause, which was always in simple present, followed with if, and then we also saw that the probable consequence would go with will and want. Remember that our sentence in simple present has to follow these rules. In affirmative, it's either the normal verb or the verb with s for he, she, and it. In negative, we need don't or doesn't, plus the normal verb. Why normal verb? We have the s here. And in interrogative form, it could be do or does. Pay attention, does is for these people, and a normal verb. Will and want are very simple. It's just will, want, and a normal verb or the stem form of the verb. Remember that want is an abbreviation of will not, is a contraction. So it's the same writing will not or want. So again, the condition always with simple present, and the consequence always with future will. Let's pay attention to this page, page 43 in the Amaze. It says first conditional. If I have a lot of money, I'll buy a cottage in the country. So pay attention, we have simple present and a probable consequence with will. And we have our condition stated, which is if, okay? Let's analyze this in the comic strip. In the comic strip, it says, I like this new boy. If I see him tomorrow, I'll invite him to my party. Then she says, come to my party on Sunday. And he says, sure. See, he's cute, but it looks like her friend doesn't like this boy. Let's read this example. If it rains, I'll wear a raincoat. Let's follow the same code, okay? Here we have an, sorry, it was not with that one. It's with this one. We have an if here. We have another if, okay? Now we need simple present. I see. It rains. Pay attention. This one has an S. Why an S? Because the subject is it, okay? And a a probable consequence with will. Again, I made a mistake, sorry. A probable consequence with will. Here, I'll invite and I'll wear. Okay? Pay attention. This is our formula that we need to use. Now, let's pay attention to these things. We have to follow up the lines, which are already done here. I helped you, just in case you don't know that. And we're going to do this one, okay? This one is the example, okay? If we follow the line, we can see that it has to be with Italy, yes? And if we continue following, is here. Can you see the complete line? So, if we read that, we have this sentence. If, now we need present, I go to Italy, I'll visit the Sistine Chapel. Okay? So what we have to do is follow the lines and write things that you would do in all of these countries. These countries are obviously Italy, Israel, Thailand, France, Egypt, the USA. Okay? So I am going to help you even more. The USA goes with Camp in Yosemite National Park. Go to the Louvre goes with France. Okay, now let me get a different color. Ride elephants, it's something that you would do in Thailand, yes. Swim in the Dead Sea is something that you do in Israel. And of course the last one, well, it has to be Egypt, of course. So we have Egypt with sail up the Nile. Okay? So now you're going to write the sentences over here in the space that it's in blank in your book, and we will check it later. At page 44, we have to read Mike's horoscope for today. Let's read it. It says, don't ride your skateboard today or you'll have an accident. Wear your sweater while playing outdoors or you'll catch a cold. An old friend will probably call you. Listen to him carefully. You'll find out something very interesting. Your mom won't be in a very good mood today, so do your homework and behave yourself. Your dog may not be feeling very well. Take him to the vet. Now, after reading these, we have to match the sentences. Let's match them with different colors, okay? Let's do this one. Oh, that's not good. Okay, if Mike rides his skateboard, okay. So here we have a skateboard and an accident. So he'll have an accident. That's the answer. Then we have if Mike plays without a sweater. Here's the sweater and here's the consequence. He'll catch a cold. We have if a friend calls Mike. Let's see what we have. A call and it says find out something interesting. So maybe here we have he'll get some important information. Yes. Now, if Mike does his homework, here it says homework. So it says your mom won't be in a very good mood, so it has to do with his mom. So his mom will be very happy. And now let's do the last one. If Mike's dog gets sick, well, it's the only extra one, so he'll need to take him to the vet. Okay? So, these are the correct answers. Now, in the other one, we have a code that is expressed here in these icons. Let's pay attention to the question. What is the question? What's the plan for tomorrow? And pay attention, we have a cloud and we have cards. So using first conditional, we're going to write a sentence. If it rains, we'll play cards. So again, we need if, we need a sentence in present, and after the comma, we're going to write a possible consequence with future will. So all of your sentences should have this structure. We start with if, then a sentence in present, commas, and after the commas, a consequence with future will. Follow the instructions, yes? We may not all write exactly the same thing, but our answer should be a little bit similar. We'll check it later. Now here we have further practice. It says, if it rains, we won't go out. Let's read the comic strip. Let's start here. If you write a test with the same pencil that you use for studying, you won't fail the exam. The pencil will remember everything. And now we have the little kid after that. My pencil didn't remember a thing. And well, his mom is angry. So if you study, you won't get bad grades. Again, we have exactly the same thing. We have a sentence in present and a probable consequence or probable negative consequence with will. In this case, we are using won't, okay? Now here it says read and circle the correct one. Well, if you pay attention, our answers are over here. So that one is just to check how much you know. Do it and just check if you knew that or not. Now, on the second part, you have to correct. What are we going to correct? I am going to underline all the ones that say no. Yes, these are the ones that we have to correct. They are exactly the correct number of lines that we have below in our next exercises. These are the ones that we have to correct, and we'll use this space. I am going to help you with the first one. The first one is, oh well, let me read it. The first one says, if you don't blow out all the candles on the cake, your wish will come true. That's false. We do that in Mexico too. It will be, if you blow out all the candles of the cake, comma, your wish will come true. Why? Well, when it's our birthday, they tell us to blow all of the candles. So that is the correct one. Now that is true. You have to do the same with the others. And let's check if you know all the superstitions of the Irish. Okay? Next page, it says, I won't go unless it stops raining. Do you remember the class that we have with Moby? We saw the meaning of this word, unless. Unless means si no. So the title is, I won't go out unless it stops raining. No voy a salir si no deja de llover. Remember, it's si no. Let's pay attention to the comic strip. You won't go out to play unless you finish your dinner. No vas a salir a jugar si no te terminas tu cena. Now the girl says, finished, mom. And the mom says, you can go out. But well, we know that she didn't finish it. It was the dog who ate it. Now in this one, the time marker that we have to pay attention to is unless. Unless, again, means si no. And now pay attention. First, we have a sentence with will. And now on the second part, we have a sentence with present. The order is a little bit inverted. In these ones, the answers may vary, but we have an example. It's Dad won't come late unless, and a sentence in present. So all of these have to do with the same structure, okay? That's what you have to do, exactly that. Start with a will or a want, then unless, and then a sentence in simple present. We're going to check later in our conversation via Zoom. Next page. In this page, which is the last one of this practice, we have to rewrite the sentences. How are we going to rewrite it? We are going to rewrite the two styles of time markers. Here we have unless, which is this conjunction. And here we're going to change it with if. Okay? So all of the sentences, all of them, you can start writing with them and if. Yes, I am going to help you right now. So all of them, you are going to start them with if. I sometimes forget to make it capital. Okay, and the last one, if. And you're going to change the order of the sentences, okay? So all of these have unless, but now they want you to write them with if, okay? Now let's analyze the structure. Here we have our sentence with will or want, but in the other part is at the end. So again, this thing has to be over here. And now the present is at the beginning here. So here we need the present. Okay? So again, the present must be here and the will must be at the end. Can you see that? We're going to check them later in our class. But to be honest, I'm pretty sure that you're going to do great. And here, you have to complete with your own ideas. That's why it says answers will vary. I won't stop crying unless, remember, unless means si no. No voy a dejar de llorar si no. What? You have to give your idea. And you're going to share them with the class. Okay? Last but not least, remember that we have a class today, later, so please do the activities in the PDF file and these pages. We're going to check it later. So, see you in a few minutes. Bye!